This video is brought to you from the Salesman.org HubSpot studio. Do you want to know one of the very few shortcuts to fast sales success? Because we all know how difficult it is to prospect, influence, and close new business. But what if you could convert your competitor accounts instead? Well, in this video, I'm going to explain exactly how to do that, so stay tuned. So when Sam is trying to close brand new accounts, he finds it to be a slow, awkward and painful process. He has to convince his buyers to listen to him. He has to uncover their issues. They've got to find budgets, and then the sales process. Well, it's a real pain in the ass. But what if you could do what Walter specializes in, which is converting competitor accounts? Because your competitor accounts already know. They know the gist of your product or service. They know its capabilities because they're using something very similar right now already. They've already got the budget sorted and even the decision-making process. Well, it's already likely very clearly defined. And because of all of this, selling into competitor accounts can actually be a pretty seamless process when done correctly. But converting a competitor account does need a different strategy to closing brand new prospects, and this is where most salespeople go wrong when they attempt to do these conversions. So let's take a look at the 4-step process to converting your competitors' accounts. And for me, personally, nothing scratches my competitive itch more than just crushing the competition, eating their lunch, so let's jump right into it. So the first thing to realize is that sales is what's called a zero-sum game. That means if there's the two of you stood there, there's you, and there's the competitors, there's your competition, well, one of you is going to win the business. Hopefully, it's you. You both can't win it at the same time. And this should be exciting for you because if you can outperform the competition, then you're going to win the business. It's all going to come over to you. And this is even more relevant when we're talking about converting competitor accounts because your competitors, well, they've already done a lot of the hard work in finding budget within the account. They've already beaten status quo and got the deal moving. They perhaps even got their own product installed. And so the buyer knows what they've got to do to implement your product. They've done all this hard work for you, and you can now come along and take their revenue and eat their lunch. So how do we do this? Well, first off, we've got to understand the value. We've got to understand the value gap. And to do this, we're going to overlay 2 buying cycles on the same graph. We've got the initial buying cycle, which your competitor has already done. So on here we have time, and here we have stress. You call it stress, pain, whatever you want to be calling it. So at the beginning of the first buying cycle, right here, the buyer realizes that they've got a problem. They realize that they can't solve it themselves and their stress goes up and through the roof. Then they find the original salesperson, your competitor, and their stress drops because they know they can dump this project on someone else and they can hopefully solve the problem for them. Here, the buyer buys the solution, implements it, and they go, oh crap, it isn't quite what I was expecting. And so their stress shoots up a little bit further. And they go, well, things aren't perfect, but here, things are good enough. And this is where you come in. This is where we start the second buying cycle. We come in and engage with the buyer at this point where they know that there's still some performance improvement to come from refining the product or service that they're going to be using for the foreseeable future. And perhaps their stress level jumps up a little bit more as they go through the second buying cycle. But they implement your product and their stress levels drop to an all-time low. So at this point, we've sold the product or service and the buyer is now using it. Hopefully they're driving more revenue, whatever the benefits are of our product or service. Now, what we are really interested in is the gap between what's good enough for the buyer and the new lowered stress level that the buyer will have if they start working with us, if we can convert the account. This gap here, when we're talking about converting accounts, is called the value gap. And this is what you're going to be selling against. This is what's going to get your foot in the door within accounts. It's going to be the basis of all the customer stories you tell within the account, and it's what's going to get the deal done. So step 1 is uncovering what the value gap likely is. Step 2 is reaching out and communicating this value gap with the potential customer. So this value gap is the very basis of your outreach to them, whether it's a cold call, cold email, meeting them in person, whatever it is. You're going to explain this value gap to the potential customer. And 9 times out of 10, if they're only in a state of feeling good enough, they're going to accept your calls, they're going to accept your emails, they're going to jump on a meeting with you. Your pitch to them is you've been through most of the pain of change already. And so a tiny little bit more pain. So you see the difference here between the initial pain level and the pain level that you're going to have to put them through. This is big, this is small. A tiny little bit more pain is going to get them to near perfection, which is where they wanted to be in the first place. When we talk about these changes in pain, and pain could mean time, it could mean budget, it could mean any number of different things to different buyers, but this gap here versus this gap here. When you start to frame it up as, hey, you've done most of the hard work already, let's just get you over the finish line, let's get this project finished, let's get this product implemented. When you start to frame up your conversations like that, it makes it very easy for the buyer to jump on board and at least consider working with you. And the third and final step of converting the account is to build mind, what we call building mind share. This is part number 3. Now, what does this mean? It means that once we've identified the value, gap, we've communicated it to the buyer. We now just need to stay top of mind with not just the perhaps 2 or 3 people that we've been dealing with, but the whole organization. We need to stay top of mind with all these individuals. These are some really terrible stickmen, but we need to stay top of mind with the whole organization to make this happen. If it's a smaller deal that you work on, it could be a weekly email that you're sending out that explains, again, the value gap, reinforces it, and essentially tells the buyer what they're missing out on. For bigger conversion accounts, you might have to take people off to do training. You might have to be hitting them with your account-based marketing and getting marketing involved. Again, you're trying to change the status quo here, so you just got to stay top of mind for your original influencers in the account. The rest of the account, and this is where account-based marketing can really come in handy, until you get the opportunity to ask the simple closing question, which will sound something like, does it make sense to move forward with this? And if you've done this in order, if you've done it correctly, if you've got the right value gap, if you've communicated all of this effectively, and you've built this mind share over time, when you ask that closing question of, does it make sense to move forward with this? The deal will be yours, and you're going to take your competitor's lunch straight from underneath them. And the coolest thing is, if you can time this right, if we go back to this original graph where we found the value gap here, if you can get into the right accounts that have only had one sales process, you're going to go through your competitor conversion sales process. Well, if someone else tried to convert the account again, well, see, the gap is so tiny now that there's no point in a buyer converting once more. What does that mean? That means you're going to secure the account via this second sales process for long term, which is incredible. This is why if you don't win the business up front, don't be an ass over it. Don't burn your accounts. That's because the original competitor that came in, well, they might do something stupid and just eliminate themselves. If not, you can come in with this 3-step conversion process and secure the account long term. And when competitor 7, 8, 9, 10 come along and try and do it again, even if they watch this video, they try and copy everything that I'm explaining to you here, they're going to have no luck because the value gap now has been saturated. There's no more gap for them to maneuver in. There is no reason for a buyer to change accounts yet again. So that's the value gap that's created when you sell into competitor accounts and the 4-step process to making this conversion happen. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about how you can make selling simple, then click one of the videos that are on the screen right now.